Hello, and welcome to the stream. Very happy to have you guys in here. We have a really exciting show for today. Hello, DJ Luna. Welcome in. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. Really excited to, should we have you on next week? That's going to be really fun. Thanks for dropping in. We have an actually really exciting guest today. I'll give his full introduction later, but we have Eme7, a really amazing lyricist, MC, technologist. I worked with this guy in technology for like 10 years, dude. He's amazing. Really smart guy, and I'm excited to have him on the stream and see what he has to chat about. He's going to be hanging out and perhaps even giving us some freestyles on stream. So that's going to be really exciting. I'm super stoked to have him on. And yeah, DJ Luna, very lucky of you to get that prefix for your emoticons. I got a disgusting prefix. It's Mick29 for all my emoticons that I have to use, or emotes that I have to use. It's awful, absolutely horrible. At least you got DJ Luna 3. That's not too bad. It's a nice one. New follower, Gabsteria. Thank you so much for following. Very much appreciated. Welcome to the club. I hope you enjoy the show today. If you stick around, we're going to have Eme7, a really great lyricist, in to chat about tech, music, Twitch, projects, the works. We have Audrey3 here. Anyone who can name where Audrey 1 and 2 are from gets points for that. We have a secret in the back that I can't show you guys yet. I'm going to show you later. Can't let anyone see. Luna, did you bring her in here? Thank you so much for bringing your loyal fans and followers and friends. I appreciate that. We're gonna jam for a little bit. We might play some games before we get started with the interview. But yeah, interview's gonna start at 8 in about 20 minutes. And I'm really excited for it. We still have some leftovers from our last interview, as well as some additions if you notice. We have Garrett Gucci's Instagram, or not Instagram feed, his dark web feed here. I had to do some real deep research and find these cool pictures of him, and he inspired the Buster sword that's now in my studio. That's really exciting. Oh, it's the wifey. That makes sense. Hello. Oh, see, that's tight. When you're a couple, you get like an immediate 2 followers. Every time you follow someone, it's like 2 people follow them, which is great. We have Garrett's Buster sword here to immortalize him forever in the studio. Luna, we're going to have to talk about what we're going to put in the studio for you. Maybe some DJ decks or something, or some speakers, or some Luna gear, DJ Luna gear. That'd be sick. Hi, it's MikeTheTech. Luna told me about your studio. Looks amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's really cool of you to say. Yeah, I've been working really hard on it. I've been kind of like slowly developing it over time, and it wasn't even going to be a studio or a show at first. I just kind of put one thing in after the other and added a feature and added something else that would be cool, and then it just kind of turned into this. I wasn't really expecting it to be a show, but here we are, and I'm excited for it. I haven't seen this too often online. Like, I've never really seen it happen too often. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 people with studios or 3D studios. I've seen some VTubers, but having an integrated show like this is pretty fun. And we're celebrating today. We're celebrating today because I just got Twitch affiliate, which I'm super excited about. So that means that not only are we going to have our chat interactions down here and over here, but we're also going to have really cool effects that we can trigger with bits, subscriptions, all kinds of cool stuff like that. We have all these really great effects just queued up and ready to go. You can spawn in your own character with your name on it, who can bump into the camera and mess things up and make the interview all wonky, and then I could take him out with some bombs and stuff. You could knock him around here too. So I'm gonna shoot him over that way so no one really sees him. But there's gonna be a ton of interesting interactions in the studio, so I'm really stoked for it. I hope you guys are too. I really appreciate you guys coming in and showing some love, especially when I'm such a small channel. Like I hardly have anyone following me and stuff, but I think it has potential to grow. And I think the people who have come in have ended up sticking around and enjoying it. So I'm having fun. It's exciting. Yeah, thank you. See, I need to get the emoticons onto my desk. I don't have those yet. It just says the actual text. But I want to get the actual emoticons to show up. Maybe I could have like a 3D emoticon like drop in every time someone uses one. I just have to create like every single image, but that'd be cool. I really like this music too. I'm using Stream Beats, which is a company that makes music specifically for streamers, which is kind of nice. Because we can use it without any DMCA issues and stuff like that, which is fun. I'm gonna go ahead and send a message to our special guest here real quick. See if he wants to swing in. Let's open up the Discord. Retro Radishes, thank you so much for the follow. Very much appreciated. Awesome of you. I hope you stick around. At 8 p.m. we have an interview with Eme7, an amazing lyricist from the Central Coast. It's going to be really exciting. Hello, hello. Thanks for dropping in. Got your own dedicated Twitch name here. Let's see if we can hit up Emma in the Discord. Alright, so I just sent him a message. We'll see what he's up to. If he wants to drop in a little earlier, we can get this interview started and have some fun. I think he's got some really exciting stuff planned. Oops, I kind of showed something I wasn't meant to show yet. You guys get a sneak peek of what's to come later. Let's put some particles on and really... I was going to play some games, but honestly, I'm just enjoying kind of streaming. I feel like I got to get used to the studio, you know? Got to get used to the set. Let's see, can I get a rotoscope going? Rotoscope. Stretch it out? What do you mean? Oh, look. I'm gonna stretch right now. Watch. Yeah. Wait, one more. Okay, now I'm good. I should, a friend of mine, Matt, actually gave me a great idea of putting a Mario pipe underneath me so that when you see the backside of my desk, since I don't have legs like PewDiePie, we can just literally put a Mario pipe so it's like I'm coming out of the pipe. That'd be sick. Let's see, can I control the drone while... Yep, I'm controlling the drone while we're rotoscoping. My CPU totally isn't dying right now. Ooh, look at that shot. Alright, let's see what has responded real quick. Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, I got a few different ones actually. Let's see. Let's do a little test run of effects. So we have our flame effect. We got our whirlwind. Let's see. We got explosion. Pretty cool. Let's see. We got some swords. Those are actually going to destroy our chatbots. So that's a chatbot. And when I run that, it's going to destroy the chatbots around it. But I haven't done that yet. That's going to be pretty cool, I hope. Yeah, right? Ah, see? And then when the chatbot ends up bumping into the camera and making things difficult for us, we can kill the chatbot. Hold on. Wait. Yeah, see? We killed the chatbot. He's dead. Get out of here. Hold on. There we go. We'll hide him over there. Rest in peace, chatbot. Yeah, and then you're gonna be able to donate bits to spawn in as a chatbot, and your name shows up on it and everything. So that's gonna be pretty cool. And then, oh yeah, what else do we have? We have explosion. Oh, I did it the wrong way. Hold on, I have to do it again. Yeah, see. And then, if anyone decides to donate, you know, we gotta have a coin drop. Let's get the cool effects back on. Listen to this track a little bit. So, Eme7, Ricardo Garcia. He is a lyricist. He's an MC. Not just like MC, like he actually is like a mic controller. He controls the mic. He is extremely good at freestyling. He has performed live multiple times, not just his own music, but he's like done it freestyle as well live. There's speakeasies I've been to, there's different events I've been to where he's just like killing it, absolutely fucking killing it, dude. He's amazing, great dude. I worked with him in technology, actually, in education technology for many years. At least like I don't know if I worked with him for that long, but he's been working for like 10 years plus in tech and just doing amazing things. He's the reason that a lot of computers in Salinas work. Let's just say that. He's the reason a lot of networks in Salinas work too. And a lot of apps and projects that he's worked on. He's definitely had an influence, and I think he deserves a spotlight. And I know I'm a small channel, super small channel right now, but in time, this is making me dizzy. In time, I think the channel will grow, and we'll keep on highlighting our friends, and we'll keep on highlighting and having return interviews. And once we have more eyes on this content, we can spread that love and really, like, not even just with the streams and interviews themselves, not even just with like getting people in and like, you know, the initial exposure, not even just like uploading the video and having that video and exposure there, but even after the interview, being able to raid other streamers and share our audiences and help each other grow in that way, I think it could be a really beautiful thing, especially for the Monterey County area, because I know we have a lot of talent. He's a great friend. Yeah, absolutely. He's a wonderful person. He really is a great family man. He's a great friend, and he's come through for me in a clutch multiple times. Just absolutely great dude. Really excited to give him at least some sort of spotlight, be it a small one at that, but he's one of those ones that I believe deserves the world. Like, he's got a lot of talent. You know, I have a lot of friends that I actually feel deserve more than they're getting right now. Like, honestly, the talent in our area is huge, and I think we just don't have as many outlets as some of the larger cities have to really highlight what we've got, you know, because we have some cool ass people. Honestly, we have some cool ass people in our little community. So, you know, hopefully this will help us bring a spotlight to that. Yeah, let's go Monterey. Hell yeah. For me specifically, it's Salinas, but I got love for the whole county, of course. I know, and ever since I got my loadout drop in, this is a loadout drop from Call of Duty, my drone can shoot now. So that's been fun. Yes, sir. 831. I want to get some 831 merch. I know a couple people in Salinas are making 831 merch and Salinas merch. Salad Skate's making them. If you guys know of anyone who's making some sick Salinas merch, I would love to check it out and support it on stream. Or even like, you know, anything local would be really sick to support. I don't want to just buy like I don't care how it's made, like if it's printed or whatever, but like I want to buy it from an actual like local place, not like just some random shop that happens to have a Salinas logo or something. But I want to see if we can find some local companies making cool stuff. Salad Skate might be a good contender. They actually make skateboards too with our logo and stuff on it, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. Anna's not here yet. I think he was going to check in before the stream, but that's okay. We'll have him in a bit. Can always jump in some games or something to hang out. Oh, look, I could see the stream in the stream. Isn't that fun? David Marple. Yes, you're right. Marple Art, right? Where are they now? Marple Art, last time I remember they were in Old Town, right? But that's, I've been there lately and they're not there anymore. Or is he just like, is he selling it online? I gotta check him out. Should do that right now. Let's go check out Marple Art's Twitter. Yeah, he's got a Shopify, bro. Yeah, I've always wanted one of these hats. These hats are so cool. I could get that in a shirt. Do they have my size? I'm a big boy. Yeah, that hat's sick, honestly. Oh, the bull's only 25. They got up to 4x. Okay. Yeah, dude. Oops. There we go. I was looking at the studio mouse and not the actual screen mouse. But yeah, that shirt, that hat, I think that's a set right there. I want to pick that up. Can I wear a hat with my headphones? I could probably, no. Yeah, I could do that. It could work. Eme might be having technical difficulties. He was getting set up earlier on a new machine that he hadn't been using too long yet, so there might be some issues getting everything running at once. But he will hopefully be in shortly. Close. No, it's it actually could be the model. If you want to get technical, it might actually be the model from Subnautica. But no, I actually licensed this one. It's supposed to be replicating Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors, the plant that eats people. Yeah, I was like, they named the plant in the movie Audrey 2. So I named that one Audrey 3. I'm going to have Twitch interactions where you could feed the plant and it'll drop something in for it to snap up and eat it. I already had the animations. Oh, and we let loose a little secret too. Oh, Emma's here. Okay, let me just say the secret real quick. We are going to put okay, so I have 2 dogs in real life. I'm putting a virtual dog in the studio. We're getting a virtual dog, guys. We're gonna have a doghouse first while I get the animations and everything set up.
That's so cool, man.
Oh, what up? Hello, hello.
So cool.
Let me stop this music real quick.
Your patience, man.
No, of course.
No, you're good. You're good, man. Keep it rocking. Keep it rocking.
Yeah. All right. How are you doing today, man?
I'm good, man. I'm super excited to jump on here with you. This virtual studio stuff is insane. It's mind-blowing. So thank you for doing what you do, for being so creative, and for allowing me into your space, man. This is super exciting.
Thank you for being here in my space. I'm excited to have you. I remember just like not even too long ago, you had invited me to be interviewed at yours, and it's just exciting to be able to like have you here and kind of
definitely
not even just return the favor. I don't even want to say return the favor because you had way bigger stuff going on than this, but it's exciting,
no, not even
dude.
Like that.
It's
so
not
exciting. Returning the favor
because
because honestly, it's been like a friendship for how long's it been, bro? I mean, going all the way back to when you were probably still in high school. You were like
I was talking to Chad. I was like, we've been in tech for over 10 years at least, dude. Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. I want to say for me that was like 2006, so like 15 years plus now. So it's been a really good journey, and of course,
15
to have your friendship
plus.
along. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. I'm excited to have you here. I've been basically raving about you this entire time because I
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, dude. Yes. I'm just so proud of you, dude. Honestly, like I have a lot of friends into creative stuff, and just seeing what you've created, what you've put out, not even just like being out there and working, but I mean, even when you create music, you've put stuff out for free. Like you got like albums out that you're just like, hey, take this and share it. And I think that's just amazing. Like, it's not even about the money for you, and you're really in it for the community. It's great.
I appreciate that, bro. Honestly, I mean, it's been a long time coming of doing this kind of work, but at the same time, it's like we were just talking about it, how there's like pros and cons, and what we're going to get into is probably going to be like a personal conversation in terms of like that excitement that you share, right? Where you're like amping me up, bro. Every time I see you post online like this right now, it's still mind blowing. I'm still trying to get over the fact that I'm, you know, in your virtual studio right now on the big screen. So just much love to you for doing what you do. And again, all that's reciprocated, Ben. I mean, a lot of it definitely is for the community. And of course, it's out there for free when we do it. But then it's like that stage fright almost of like, yo, I listened to some of my old my old music, and I'm like, nah, I can do better now. Like, I don't want to put that out anymore. I want to put out new stuff. So
which is crazy.
Whenever I see, well, it goes back and forth, right? Like, you see me post something, you get inspired. I see you post something, I get inspired.
Right.
And we just keep pushing it back and forth. That's kind of what I meant by, it's not even returning a favor, really. It's just keeping the friendship going at this point, bro.
Yeah,
so
it's like again, banter. It's just pushing off each other.
Exactly, man. It's not really currency, but it's definitely an energy exchange. So
no, for sure. And like that. Honestly, like even when you're saying like, oh, looking back at your old stuff, like it doesn't feel the same or whatever. Like I feel the same way about mine, but then thinking back about your stuff, like when you were in projects and when you were like, you know, performing live and I was at your shows, or when you're like doing Paralante stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like
that's really taking it back. Yes.
Studio quality, amazing stuff already. So I mean, I was already looking up to you before we even got to this level. So it's exciting, man. I'm happy to have you.
Bro, around that time you had Salinas Radio going on. So you were like one of the locals, like running it off of Winamp on your computer. Like, bro, you just made do with what you had. And again, it just goes back to where we're at right now. I mean, think of it, like thinking back 10, 15 years, would you have envisioned the virtual space that we're in right now, being able to connect like this? You know, of course, the caliber of music keeps getting better and better on my end as well. And I appreciate your support with that. But it's like, we've just grown and developed and, you know, matured, so to speak, man. So I appreciate, again, the friendship throughout all this time. And of course, I'm sure we can get into a whole bunch of different layers of conversations because there is so much to kind of pull from. So
honestly, even like
going your way, bro. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like, it's kind of funny, like, it does kind of go for full circle, like multiple times. Like I literally, now that I think about it, like I'm like, I had a little radio thing, and then you were making music and I wanted to feature you, and then you had a radio thing and you were like, hey, come on my show, and then I'm like, no, I want to feature you for all the radio stuff you've done and all the music shit you did. So I'm like, dang, it's really great. it really does just come around. Yeah. And honestly, so like this whole studio is just a way for me to hide that my house is a mess, so we're good.
I need one of those, but I need to rent your studio. Like, do you do hourly rates? Like, yeah, we got to figure out a deal.
We're gonna get you with a nice like 500 by 500 foot setup, a nice warehouse with everything you need.
Only if I get a virtual dog, bro. You know, there's no deal if there's no virtual dog.
You can get two.
That's what I was going to ask you earlier when we were doing the sound check, the test run a little while ago. I wanted to ask you about if you spin your drone around and you have like a little VR setup thing. I was going to say, bro, like instead of just VR, why not make that like the little cipher? You can have different MCs come in your show and drop a hot 16 or whatever people call it, right? Just like kick some flows, man. Like do your thing in the little booth right there. And of course, kind of like a late night show is kind of how I envision your setup right now. It's like you have the live house band over here, you have the stage on the other side, you have like your couch for your guests, right? I mean, you're pretty much there, but you're doing it already, So again, just hats off, respetos to you, bro.
All right, so you are absolutely onto something with that. So initially, I had made this tiny little space right here with the guitar for
that's the open mic setup right there.
Yeah, this was my open mic. But then I was like, nah, I need something bigger. So like you were mentioning with that VR space, I got this bad boy right here. So I was thinking of actually having this set up where the only problem is, okay, so here's the deal. We need to get you a green screen.
Yeah, I do, because this is not working, right? Like I gotta fix my lighting, I gotta fix it all, but it's cool. I wanted to jump on and share this.
See, I literally have like a full body green screen. So what I want to happen is be able to show foot to head standing in the virtual world, just like this guy's doing, and you would literally be in the studio completely. And I think that would be amazing. I would have to get I actually have green screen. I could set you guys up.
I got somebody I'm going to connect you with too, because I got somebody that's been working on that kind of full screen setup. and he's been trying to like plug different guests in the community. He's been putting out posts, asking for poets, musicians, people that just want to kind of share their music. And I mean, you might know him, Rob, Masa for the Raza.
Oh,
he's
yeah, of
super
course.
active on Instagram.
Yeah.
He's working on a little space like that, man. So it's like, I think we're all kind of doing the same work. And when we come together, like pieces of a puzzle,
Absolutely.
It's just beautiful to kind of see it all,
We should have them on. That'd be sick.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's up to today, but I know that he's usually checking in and he's always active. I mean, his account's always popular.
No, I'm gonna hit him up for sure. That's a great idea. Yeah, I think your wife is in chat exposing you. You already have a green screen?
Not set up. Yeah, this is all fake. Actually, I am a green screen.
Yes.
It's in the bag. I haven't opened it up because I know how much work it is to actually get the lighting and make sure there's no shadows and all that good stuff. So Eventually I will set it up. But yes. So what was she up to? She's over here in chat. Much love going out to my beautiful wife, of course.
Absolutely.
Always.
Yeah, but that's exciting because knowing that, I think we could really collab on some cool stuff. I'm stoked to hear that because I think you're onto something with that idea of having live performances. I think it would be just perfect for the space, being able to hype up a show with lights and effects and pyrotechnics and whatever we need to incorporate. We could even like sync stuff to the music if someone has a set, like I think it would be amazing.
That's dope. I'm definitely with it, man. And again, bringing in the virtual everything, man. I mean, did he say that you're going to be sharing them today? Is your virtual dog ready for
No. That's a new one. I do have a surprise for you though. So since we're looking at the studio, every time I have a guest, I immortalize them somewhere in the studio. And
all right, cool.
You already tagged up my screen up here, so I figured I'd give you an actual space to work with.
There you go.
So
all right.
I gave you a space right here with your tag and a little microphone just to kind of give the full flavor
I am humbled, bro.
of who you are.
Humbled.
You're in there forever, bro.
It's so dope. Yes. Thank you, man. That's what an honor.
No, absolutely. But yeah, I think it'll be fun, like being able to kind of show love like that and have interactions and have people come in and showcase different types of talents, not just an interview format, but perform.
Definitely, man. And I think, honestly, one of the things that I appreciate about you is that you're always creating content in terms of trying to help other people. So I can definitely see this being something where, I mean, I'm not trying to dictate what you should do, but, potential ideas.
I love ideas.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's about sharing knowledge and like boosting that kind of like what we call base level knowledge, right? Like we're all going to kind of grow together, learn together, kind of, keep sharing concepts. So whether it is technology, whether it is music, in my case, culture, right? Indigenous culture, something that I love promoting, talking about, sharing, so on and so forth. And so at the end of the day, like, that's kind of what I'm saying, right? Like giving that platform to different folks, and the podcast kind of idea of just generating content, having conversations of, sharing that knowledge. So I know that you have a lot to offer, and I'm sure that, plugging into our beautiful community here in Salinas, California, like there's so much talent as well.
No, honestly, I've gotten a lot of requests and questions about even the setup itself, like other people having ideas for things to do in it. There was one company who was like, hey, like we want to make coding lessons for students, and we want a virtual studio for that to happen in. So I helped them with it. And then, I've had other people contact me about like, oh, like what would it take to set something like this up? Cause I want to do X, Y, Z in it. So, I mean, even just the idea itself of having an interactive studio, I feel like can go beyond just what I'm doing with it. Like it'd be so cool to see what other people have in terms of ideas and content.
Bro, and the fact that this is so like, in times of a pandemic, like you're in your house, I'm in my space, like this is the safest way to kind of interact. But at the same time, it feels close, intimate, like it's very experimental, but it's working, man. So just like, again, huge high five going your way, bro. Like,
I appreciate
you're
that.
Something here.
Thank you. I did want to ask you a few things as well. The Saturday sesh. So you had me on there. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how that started, and basically what your part was in that. I'm not sure if you're still.
Yeah. No, it's a beautiful story, man. So Saturday sesh, part of KHTC, which is Radio Bilingüe. During the day, our local Radio Bilingüe station will play segments coming out of different areas, some out of Mexico, some out of Fresno, which is Radio Bilingüe's headquarters. So here in Salinas/Chular Salinas, we have an antenna that pretty much, amplifies voices of like migrant community, right? So like a lot of campesinos issues, field workers, kind of get informed. And again, it's kind of a network of not just Salinas, but it's like a global community of Radio Bilingual. Here in Salinas, we have a whole different variety. So we have programming in the afternoons that range from rock en español to reggae to hip hop to oldies to funk to freestyle to Hawaiian music to Tejano music to, it's all over the place. And that's what makes our community so vibrant and beautiful and special. So years and years ago, I was doing shows and I didn't really have somewhere to promote it other than local radio, right? So reaching out to the station, they were very welcoming. And not only did they allow me to come and talk about these events, mainly because they were free. Like that's one thing about Radio Bilingüe is that it's like a nonprofit, it's public community radio. And so with that in mind, that's one of the clear differences between like commercial radio is that it's all kind of geared toward supporting community, building community, not really about making a dollar, but about bringing community together. Right. So mainly being able to promote free events and being able to promote all age events. So it was like hand in glove, perfect combination for bringing community together and doing it over an FM signal. So throughout the years, kind of came on the Wednesday Rec and backed up our local hip hop show. And I remember it was like early on, they asked me if I wanted a radio show. And I'm like, no, like I'm here to support. Like, I don't want to have an ego. I don't want to have like the Eme7 show or whatever. Like, no, like this is about community. And the more we work together, then hopefully the further we can go and support one another, right? Didn't want to create any kind of room for that kind of, ego, I guess, for lack of a better word. So eventually, 3 years ago, they asked again, very nicely, very, what's the word I'm looking for? They were a little bit more pushy. I don't want to say aggressive because it's always with love, but it's like, hey man, if you don't help us out, we're going to lose the Saturday spot and it's going to go back to Fresno. We're not going to have a local on Saturday nights. Come on, just help us out. And I'm like, but I got a baby on the way, actually a third baby on the way at that point. And I'm like, my life's about to change completely again. And I don't know if I can take on that kind of commitment, responsibility. So what ends up happening, I reach out to my friends and ask if anybody else is interested. Anybody else want to help out with having a Saturday night radio show? So obviously I asked my closest friends, who happens to be one of my, best friends and neighbor. And, he's like, you know what, I have a baby on the way too. It's going to be impossible for both of us to do this. I'm like, all right, let's ask the next person. Let's ask the next person. Let's ask the next person. And out of everybody who's down, and that's something that I want to say, it's like, sometimes it's easy to talk the talk, but to walk the walk, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of commitment. And to give up your Saturday nights and to do, that kind of a commitment, it definitely takes a lot of work. So my respects and always sending love out to everybody that formed a part of the Saturday session, starting off with my first co-host, Cal Paradox, coming out of Salinas, California. And then, pretty much time goes on. He put in his 6 months, 9 months, and then we continue to carry the torch. Then we had Looney Lou come on. He was my co-host. And we actually did our last show together in December. So the current status of the Saturday session is it's kind of on a hiatus. It may come back at some point, but for the time being, if you tune in on a Saturday night, you're going to catch DJ Moy, who also has a reggae show on Wednesday nights. But on Saturday nights, he's doing kind of classic cuts is what he's calling it. So kind of like, a little bit of 80s music, a little bit of classic, I want to say throwbacks, kind of like lowrider cruising music type of vibe. Yeah. That's kind of what he's going for. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, what the Saturday Sesh is going to continue to live on. I'm sure somebody else will be able to jump in if Moy's not able to do it later. But again, we just continue to pass the torch.
But I wanted to say, like, honestly, respect, and I appreciate what you did with the Saturday show. Honestly, there isn't anything really local that we have like that. We don't have any local voice that is recognizable. We have, the big top 40 stations and they're amazing. I love our local hosts and everything. But it's not a focus on our community. It's not a focus on local music. And you being that voice and showing up each time and knowing that we could actually flip to your station and hear a familiar voice talk about good music. It was really cool.
Thank you. I appreciate
it was
that.
Great
Honestly,
to hear.
I'm going to just say one of the things, again, this is the behind the scenes unplugged type of, I'm going to be really honest with you today. Mm-hmm. And that it takes us so much work to, kind of curate a show like that. Yeah. So the easy thing to do is just go look for what's new, right? And that's kind of what I what I defaulted to sometimes is just go check out the new releases. If somebody's tuning in, I don't want them to hear the same playlist, the same 5 songs. My favorite 2 songs, right, for 3 hours. Like, that's not the way a radio show works. So it's about kind of keeping it fresh. But on the same note, and this is really important, especially for community radio, is putting the community into the radio.
Yeah.
Right. So like reaching out to the local artists, and that's one of the things that I'm happy to say. Like, there's 100 episodes all archived, and if you want to go back and hear any of them, they're all there, 3 hours in their entirety. And they're all going to highlight different community voices. So again, that's one of the things that I'm the most proud about. The music's cool. It's beautiful music. Of course, I'm going to choose music that resonates with me, so it may or may not vibrate or resonate with other people. But at the end of the day, there's going to be a conversation in there with a local voice. And so you were one of our guests, right?
That was exciting.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a prime example where it doesn't necessarily have to be like pigeonholed into just hip hop artists. Like, no, this is a very vibrant community with so many different layers of knowledge, of expertise, both from a very cultural kind of like do-it-yourself hip-hop level to, like, let's actually write curriculum and like let's set a way forward for what can be done. So
no, but honestly,
that's kind of go for it.
Yeah, honestly, even what you were doing, like I remember we actually had to talk about that when we were in the studio doing the interview too. You were kind of like almost talking down about like, oh, sometimes I do default to playing new music or things like that, but like
I feel bad about it.
No,
right?
That's like not something to feel bad about. It's perfect for the format. Like, you play music that people recognize, they get excited, they get into it. Then the next song, something they never heard before, and they're a new fan. You keep them with the familiar, and then you introduce them to the next person you're interviewing. It's just like kind of the perfect way to format that. So even if it wasn't on purpose, I think it was a good way to do it.
No, thank you for that. Yes.
Just like
and
with
honestly,
this show.
I kind of needed that type of like high five every now and then, because man, sometimes there's like, you wonder, right? Like, okay, you're doing the show. Like, is anybody out there? Is anybody even listening tonight? Right.
No.
And then you get that one caller that says, yo, thank you for playing, or, can I give a shout out? And it makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, cool. Like, I didn't just waste my time up here with nobody tapping in or nobody feeling like, this was a positive thing. So whenever people check in, like, that's what keeps us going, right? It's not really about monetary payment, but it's about just like showing love, showing support, a quick share, a quick
with your
like,
show, it wasn't even
right?
about like even dropping into the radio show. Like, you were multi-format, especially more towards the end. Like, you were posting like, Instagram live feeds and everything, and you could actually just drop in straight through your Instagram and see what's up and enjoy the show and see what your guest was up to and everything. So I feel like even when I couldn't listen to the radio or I wasn't in my car or something, you were still providing content, which is cool.
Yes, and that's actually kind of where you and I started to kind of connect again, because I think like we kind of go through these chapters in life where we kind of go into our own world and then we kind of connect back and then we kind of do our own thing. So I remember that I was using my phone to go on Instagram Live, and it was like the most ghetto / low budget method, right? I wrote the artist's name on a piece of paper and I aimed my phone at the piece of paper, and I was just like streaming that. That's it. Like, that's what you get.
But am I wrong to think that that's so hip hop?
No, I think
it looked hip hop.
It obviously gets the job done, right?
But
the main reason I was doing that, and even like this, honestly, it takes guts. Like, I'm sweating. Like, I don't know if you can tell how shiny I am, but
that's funny.
It's like, it is so nerve-wracking to get in front of a camera.
Right.
Like, I don't really mind doing the microphone thing because rocking with the band and doing so many open mics throughout decades now. Of course, there's confidence with that, but in front of a camera, I'm still like iffy. I'm like, I don't know how the lighting should be. I don't know if I should put a green screen, whatever, right? Like, all these different things that I'm still venturing into. But the point being that it's like, I started with just pointing my phone at a piece of paper, and you made the comment, hey bro, like, I get what you're doing, but like, a lot more technology, bro. Come on, like, you can do better than that. And now I see what you're doing, and I'm like, this is kind of, in a weird way, I feel like this is what you were envisioning. No, well, that's what I needed to hear in the moment, right? So it's actually a good thing, And it just goes back to that, bro. It's like, what you're doing right now is kind of like the perfect kind of like segue, like the next evolution. Because again, not everybody's really tuning into a radio. Not everybody's like, able to jump in the car or whatever, right? Like, radio is definitely going to serve its purpose, and I don't want to knock it. But I feel like with technology moving the way it's moving, it's less and less likely. Like, we're not even able to get a CD player anymore, right? Like,
radio's super difficult, and the people that do have radio stations, they have their presets, and that's what they're listening to,
Yeah. So putting it out there again, that is 90.9 FM here in Salinas, California, and that's community radio. It's pretty much right up there with college radio, and I mean that's what it's all about, right? It's kind of like supporting the left side of the dial. A lot of those kind of stations are going to be local.
So I know very little about this project, but I saw it and it intrigued me. I thought it was really cool. So I thought I'd just ask you instead of doing my own research, I guess. But what is Hip Hop Beyond Borders?
Oh wow, that's a throwback right there.
Yeah.
So Hip Hop Beyond Borders was a hip hop show we did at the Salinas Public Library, Cesar Chavez Library. Okay. And it was kind of like a free CD compilation that we put together just to kind of give away for the day of the show. But pretty much at the end of the day, what it was is bringing hip hop to the community. And it was a bilingual, free, all ages event. And so we called it Hip Hop Beyond Borders because, so you're kind of quizzing me a little bit, which is beautiful. I love it. We brought an artist from, actually, I'm going to give full credit where credit is due. JF, who was rocking with his pareja and his good friend back then by the name of, what were they called? I'm trying to recall their name back then. JF was his most recent project. I know that recently he kind of did another, he's reinventing himself again, and he's tapping into what he has to offer. But at the end of the day, he was rocking his thing. And I'm trying to recall what their name was. It was like Mentes, not Diferentes, but I'm going to bring it back. And they're the ones who reached out. They said, hey, we have this artist that we want to bring up from Oaxaca, Mexico. And, her name is Mare Advertencia Lírica. We want to give her a spot. And so I was volunteering / working at the library in those days. And we were able to get them the contact forms or the, pretty much, the paperwork to be able to use the facility. And I'm like, yo, I'm not the gatekeeper here. Let me show you what the forms are. And if I'm not here tomorrow, come back and you can always use this space. The public library system is meant for building community just like that. So Hip Hop Beyond Borders, a throwback once again to Cesar Chavez Library, free hip hop show we did with international artists, but organized locally, specifically throwing out, big shout out to JF on that one.
Nice.
The Mentes, there you go. It's right there in the chat.
Yeah. That's I switched the camera. I was like, I'm gonna see if I could.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my beautiful wife, bringing it back. Yes.
No, so that's awesome, dude. I wanted to talk about your tech, but I also didn't want to get away from music too quickly. Just because I'm really interested in what you told me earlier about your setup being able to actually be live and integrated. So before we even do that, maybe why don't you tell me about your tech and how you have everything set up?
My tech right now,
or your gear, I should say.
Yeah. Like the whole setup. So I've been really exploring with how I can make this setup a little bit more portable. So I've been kind of working with different laptops and whatnot. So one of the ones that I was using was the new M1 chip on the MacBook. So that one right there made it really, really easy to pretty much use one system. And I did have a problem with it. The camera stopped working on it. So I took it back. And when I got the replacement for it, it would happen to be Valentine's Day. So I felt really, really, loving in a generous mood. And I happened to give that MacBook Pro to my beautiful wife. So she's rocking a new M1 right now, which is
what a dude.
So I kind of gave up the perfect setup, but I feel like one of those things, if you love it, it'll come back to you and eventually it'll be meant to be. So right now what I'm rocking with is a little Mac Mini, and I was just kind of venting to you that I didn't take them serious when they said when you buy a setup, you can't upgrade them. So I'm rocking an 8 gig thing. I mean, it's a little setup, it's not the most beefy, but it's getting the job done. And what I'm rocking, I've been using the same music program now for 10 plus years. It's called Ableton. So Ableton is pretty much routing my microphone right now, and I have some beats kind of queued up. And that's how I'm able to kind of hear you as well. I have kind of everything connected through Ableton, running the main audio.
I am an audio noob. What exactly is Ableton? Is it like a beat producing thing? Is it just an audio mixing application, or what kind of functions does that do?
Yeah, kind of the mindset that it's kind of like a tool that you can use to whatever you want to do it for. So for me, technically I'll start with the definition right out of the dictionary would be it's a digital audio workstation, a DAW. And so it does everything you asked. Yes, it makes beats. Yes, you can sequence, you can mix, you can do all that stuff. I was using it for the radio show, pretty much running full 3-hour broadcasts off of it. I use it for making beats. I use it for recording I use it for live everything pretty much.
Okay.
Man. So
I don't want to make a
it's like
bad
my
comparison
go-to.
here, but kind of like Fruity Loops, or
Yeah, very much so. So I
okay.
started off with Fruity Loops a while back, and one of the things, I don't know if it was the limitation, my understanding of the software, but I wasn't able to record into it. So I'd have to use the beat in Fruity Loops, and then I'd export the beat and use a different program. I think back then I was using Cool Edit, so Cool Edit was my
throwback.
go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been a while since I heard of Cool Edit.
There you go. And that's actually where the roots are, right? So it's like just starting with the blank canvas, you throw audio into it, and it's up to you whatever you want to do. So the way I see Ableton is kind of like Photoshop for audio. You can layer it, you can compress it, and you can throw quote unquote filters, if you will.
That might be one of my next projects.
Yeah, and over time it's just become like a go-to for me. Like it's just, I know it like the back of my hand. So it's awesome software.
Nice. I know that you're very multi-layered. Like you're a lot like me in that, like, we're always in 5 different projects. We're always in 5 different types of technology. Like I'm writing on one day, and then I'm like being a tech on the other day, and then now I'm in a studio. So I mean, like, you do a lot of different things as well. What kind of projects do you have going on right now, and what do you have planned?
That's a great question, bro. Mainly right now, project number one is being a good husband and being a good dad to my kids.
That's great.
Really trying to prioritize family, especially during this pandemic where, I didn't have the quote unquote luxury, the excuse, whatever word we want to put in there, right? To like leave the house and get that alone time, if you will, right? So being home with them all the time like that really made it a beautiful year for me personally, of really like bonding with them, from just being part of their bedtime stories to being part of, overall kind of seeing them grow. And my kids are so little that it's like I blink twice and they grow 3 inches type of thing, right? My littlest one, she's 2. I got a 4 and a 6-year-old. And so that means that my oldest one is in kinder.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I would have never thought. I know you've had kids for a while, but I always just kind of imagine you holding like a baby. I guess like
an infant.
Time really does go fast, dude.
She's a big 6-year-old, man. So it's like I said, I blink twice and she just grows so much. So the fact that I was able to stay home during this pandemic and be with them and be around the family a lot more, that's my main thing. Obviously I had the radio show last year. The pandemic made it really interesting with continuing to put myself in spaces where potentially I could be what's the word I'm looking for, asymptomatic carrier, right? Like I don't know if I'm going to the grocery store and like passing it on somebody else at the gas station, and unknowingly. So just like when I'd be at the radio station, I'd always have that in the back of my mind. It's like, man, like especially having a co-host in there with me. It always felt like, man. So I'd always mask up. I'd always try to follow the guidelines, 6 feet apart, right? Wash your hands, like do everything you can. But at the end of the day, it always kind of was a little nerve-wracking. So
because it's not just you anymore. Yeah.
Exactly. Having my children, having my work, kind of having my family. I mean, I haven't, with confidence, like hugged my parents. It's like I've kind of felt like getting close to them, and it's like, no, like let me wait. And now finally my dad got his vaccinations. My mom's getting set up to get hers. So
nice,
it looks like everybody's kind of, getting toward the end of this whole scare, but it's that whole what if, right? And I know some people don't believe it. Some people even made fun of each other for wearing masks or whatever. And it's like, at the end of the day, if you can prevent spreading it, if you can do your part, like that's all we were really asking for. Those of us that took it serious, Yeah,
so, for sure. I wanted to give you props as well. A little bit early in the conversation, I want to give you props for how you've handled social media. I know that you kind of took a little break for a little while, but then I saw some posts that kind of it was an interesting perspective when you posted about your daughters, and you posted why you were posting in Spanish and saying that you look forward to a day when your daughters look back and can read those tweets with you or your social media posts with you and see what kind of stuff you were doing. And that really impacted me. Like I was like, damn, like we really need to be mindful about what we put out there, because that's our legacy, and like you're leaving that for your children. And like I don't have kids, so I mean it's a different thought process, but even with me without kids, it made me really consider and reconsider the way and type of content that I put up.
The digital footprint we're leaving, right? That's a deep conversation there. Honestly, it's something I've thought about for a long time. I think it goes back to like in school they'd say, if you're going to apply for a job, make sure that your social media presence is professional, right? Because people will Google your name and stuff like that. So I think it kind of started with that concept, but over time, like, yeah, now I've been working for 15 years. So like, that's not really the main motive. Now it's, okay, who's going to be my audience in 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah, exactly.
And honestly, I mean, that's something that I've always been conscientious about. It's like, I want to keep my kids in mind. So that way, when they Google me or they, pull up my page, my music, it's definitely something that I can feel proud of, right? And of course, I'm not perfect. There's a lot of times where I'm gonna be really honest. And again, the behind the scenes honesty is that sometimes I'm having a really bad day, like horrible day. Like I'm actually feeling, like I'm beating myself up, or, if somebody beat me up, and so I'm just feeling down on myself. And in those moments are when I actually reach in and I'll pull something positive and I'll post something positive.
Yeah,
I'll
and
just,
that's
give thanks for something.
I'm exactly the same way. Like if I'm feeling bad, I'm just like, well, I'm gonna go find someone who I don't agree with and argue for a while. It's just that kind of thing. Like it's not really productive, but it is one of those things that's really connected to emotion and mood. And I think how you said before, like being mindful of your work and being like, oh, well, like obviously I don't want my job to see this, or potential employers. I had always seen it in that light, and instead of looking at it like I should be careful what I post, it really was like I should try and post in a way that won't get me in trouble, instead of actually trying to post good things. And then when you said about like your daughters looking up your content later on in life, it made me reconsider, not just like, okay, it's not about trying to get through and not get in trouble. It's about posting positive, impactful content. Yeah.
And that's kind of what I mean, right? So sometimes those posts, like they're coming from a place where I'm kind of speaking to myself. Like if I was going to give myself advice, or when I come back and I stalk myself a week later, like when I just post this last week.
Right.
So that way I'm not thinking of myself as being foolish. It's like, nah, cool. Like I actually dug deep and I put something positive out there. So not only does it resonate with my audience, my community, but hopefully it also kind of impacts me and it keeps motivating me, to keep moving forward. Yeah, and of course, the natural sequence there would be my kids, right? Moving forward as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Creating a world for them and an example for them.
And I think it goes back to what you were just kind of talking about, really. It's like, I think I called it a digital footprint, but it's like, at the end of the day, man, like everything that we're doing, all of our, interactions, I don't feel like they really get deleted, man. I feel like everything's going to be there and archivable, searchable, right? So trying to be mindful of that kind of stuff. And even if technology wasn't there, it's still kind of being mindful of like, yo, somebody's having a bad day, like try not to make it worse for them.
Yeah.
And if they're coming at you sideways, then, don't put them down. Maybe just look them in the eye, and if you are able to speak, then cool. But if not, sometimes just avoid the vibes, man. Like that's all you can do. It's like, why invest so much time or try to force things? So it's part of the reason of trying to just, sometimes it is a lonely road, but at the same time, I'd rather be lonely and try to kind of keep that energy focused than spreading myself way too thin. And then at the end of the day, feeling like, kind of you're upsetting people or whatever. So.
I had to learn that the hard way. Like, obviously it's easy to get triggered reading through like news posts or random people's comments.
Man,
but
I feel like we're set up, bro. Honestly, I feel like it's a setup,
It really is.
How long... It's like a timer. Like, how long can you, scroll through your timeline without feeling some kind of way?
Yeah, and it got to the point where like I can't really avoid the news ones, but I ended up really trimming down my friends list, like on whose content I see on a daily basis, and that made a huge difference. Like there was just a lot of people that I don't know why I wanted to get updates from. They just always existed in my social media. They've always been a friend or whatever you would call it on social media. So it just always was in my feed. And I think just separating yourself and giving yourself that space gives a lot of clarity, and it gives you time to do other stuff. Like if you're not arguing online, you can go make some content or something,
Seriously, man, I think that takes away so much focus sometimes, right? Like engaging in just acts that really are draining. So, but at the same time, maybe some people like that. Like that's what people need to connect. And going back to this whole pandemic thing, I mean, it's like when we don't have any interactions at all, some interactions better than none, right? So
I think it's one of those things like we all love to debate, but no one loves to argue, Like debate is really fun. Debate is exciting. It's like, oh, like let's try and convince the other person of our opinion or whatever, and or maybe we'll learn a new opinion, but it's not that anymore. It's really just side versus side. There is no right and wrong. Facts don't matter anymore. It's just arguing now.
It's just emotional, right?
Yeah, it's very
coming
emotional.
from a place of anger.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, it shifts the other way in the near future. I don't know. Maybe it's the lack of in-person interaction. If everything's just read through
Big part
a
of that,
text
yeah.
message, you don't get the tone, you don't get the humor, you don't get the sarcasm. There's just so many layers that get lost with this pandemic, right? When you get the nonverbal cues, when you, like, even right now, I know that it's not perfect, but the fact that we have the cameras on, at least you can kind of see some nonverbal communication, right?
Yeah.
Like, so there's a lot of cues that we get that I think could kind of help minimize a lot of that kind of tension. But when you don't have that, then you're left to assume, and you know what to say about assumptions, right?
And then sometimes it's even as simple as, like, they're already mad, they have to be at home, so now they're mad at home online. It's not even beyond that.
There's no outlet.
Yeah.
Right? And yeah, I mean, to that's where I kind of feel like, I need to give myself that advice of continuing to be creative and finding outlets, finding a release, do some push-ups, go for a walk, make some beats.
It's so hard to motivate yourself to do that, but when you're doing it, it's amazing.
Yeah, honestly, earlier, man, like, I clocked out from work and I had to do some yard work, man. I had to go pull some weeds, right? It's like, somebody's got to do it. And so,
right.
and what I mean by that is, like, even that, right? Like, just kind of getting out there, breaking the routine of just being stuck in the same cycle over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
That, I think that kind of contributes to that same kind of regressive thinking where we get stuck in a loop, because we don't do something physically different. So the moment that we break that cycle, then it kind of opens up the opportunity for a new thought process, for maybe a neighbor to pass by and say hi. Just waving at them could make a change in their day.
Yeah.
Right. So there's just so many layers that kind of come with it.
Exactly. And even just the serotonin of going outside, getting a little vitamin D from the sun, and just pepping yourself up, or even just like taking a shower or something and feeling the cold water or something, just like it changes something in the mind. And if you weren't feeling creative any before, or if you had like a writer's block or something, it can kick you right out of it too.
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, I can vouch for that, man. So on that note, is it all right if I play a beat or something? I just kind of been aching to press the button here.
Absolutely.
This right here, it's just a loop that I kind of stumbled across. The name of the song is called Mi Viejo San Juan. So you'll kind of get an idea for more or less my vibe here.
Let me stop the music real quick. 1 second.
Oh, you still got music on your side? Cool.
Yeah.
Let me know if the music's too loud or too low, for that matter.
We're good.
Yeah, just a cool little loop here, some guitarras, some trumpets, and then I threw a drum loop, to kind of match it. Similar tempo, just keep the vibe super chill.
Nice.
And yeah, the reason I wanted to start it off with just something super chill like this is just to show, like, man, to me, hip hop, it's like, it's everything, man. Like, it encompasses and it engulfs everything. Like, you can pull in my case, this is something that my parents probably listened to when they were younger.
Right.
It's from their era. And I'm able to just take a little snippet of that and throw a different loop, a different drum beat on it, and all of a sudden it becomes a little more boom bappy. But it doesn't have to be just that, it's like the jazz, the oldies, the funk, right? It's just so much different layers to it. So with that in mind, these are some of the loops that I've been kind of messing with in recent
sneak peeks.
I don't know, days. Yeah. So this right here is just, I'm gonna just kind of go down the line here with different ideas I've been playing with. Some of it's more polished than others, but just kind of sets that mood, sets that vibe. By the way, how are we doing on time right now?
Oh, we're good. Take as long as you need. I'm hanging out.
All right, cool, man. Well, check it down for a second, yo, I see you started fireworks. Yes, y'all, right about now, the higher learning, top performing. Right now, we cultivating the conversation, freestyles with that 360 view, looking at your screen. That's that virtual studio, knowing what I mean. Keep it rocking, so fresh, so clean. Get that 360 point of view. What we doing right now, this is sort of new, but really this is old school. What we doing, yo, thinking that I told you some time ago, but now we gotta drop it in a brand new environment. Hunting like a lioness, but not really. Just rewind it, cause we trying this. Maybe later on you see it on the replay. For now it's instant, without that instant delay, I guess. I don't know, I don't play, I guess. I'm here to switch it up a little bit and still sweat and get my hat wet right about now, cause I'm packing much love and much action. What's going on? Bring it back to practice. Yes, on this live Twitch energy. This is how we rocking like a centipede. So many feet on the floor marching. What we doing right now is kind of dark outside, cause the sun just set. We about to keep rocking this. Won't stop, man, won't stop.
Bro, fucking sick, dude. Amazing.
So freestyles.
Yes.
Jumping into my element here for a quick second. Yeah, and like I said, it's going to be a lot of different ideas. This right here is just, I think this is all it is. It's just a little bit of a vibe. So I'm going to get into some high energy. There it goes. Nope, not that one. This one right here. There we go.
I feel so privileged.
Yeah, get them up like we bout to keep it rocking right about now. About to get the thoughts in the different concepts, gotta keep it conscious. What we doing right now, yo, I'm about to launch it. Maybe I'm gonna close my window, exposing my flows to my backwards. Yes, that's my neighbor, I'm trying to get my password on my Wi-Fi for the ones that wanna try my different vibes. We here to just rhyme, keep it moving right now. From the top of the mind, we saying off top, but it's really off the cuff. What I'm saying, yo, I'm saying pardon me, bruh. Not trying to do any type of profane expressions. What I'm saying with my statements, we here to just lace this with that message. And right about now, I'm learning kinda like apprentices, taking notes, looking at the way that you gonna spin with the fireworks again. Gotta higher learn, that's right. Keep it rocking with these different lessons, the different message. Gotta keep it locked in on this Twitch stream. Much congratulates to you, cause you know what I mean. You got affiliate status today. Keep it rocking, that's right. Take a second, but we don't play. Just rocking with these beats that we gotta break down. Once again, we gotta make sounds. Freestyles won't stop, keep it rocking. From Salinas, California down to Compton, or maybe out to Wisconsin. Whatever it is, we here to handle it, we know what it means, yo. Yeah, just a drum loop. Keep it moving like, yo, I got a dumb move. Check it out. Yeah. All right, that's it for now. But I got some more, man. I got some more.
I'm glad you stopped because I wanted to compliment you, but I also didn't want to interrupt like at all.
Oh no, you're good, man. Chime in. And actually, what we can do is maybe go off of the chat. If there's anybody that's watching this live and wants to throw like a little word bank, maybe I can incorporate some of the ideas they got.
So one, I'm stealing that entire verse for my intro, by the way, just so you know. That's amazing.
I will work on an actual written for you, man. We'll make it bang.
Bro, that's so sick. And two, what is it that goes into being able to create and not speak that quickly, but create content that quickly? Because even me, when I'm speaking right now and I'm trying to come up with the right way to ask this question, I'm stumbling on my words, and you're doing it but 10 times faster. So like, what goes into that? Like,
the secret is like, don't think about it. That's my secret, you know, because the moment that I overanalyze, then I'm trying to like pre-plan. I'm like, oh, what if I get fancy here? Then it's like, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So with all due respect, for me, it's about like not thinking about it. It's like, I know it sounds cheesy and it probably sounds like I read it off a bumper sticker, but like you clear your mind, like, you know, don't think about anything and just let the moment be. Like, we're in this moment, we're in this element. And that's why I'm able to kind of pull from like infinite amounts of phrases, because I'm looking at your screen and then I got, you know, like 20 different things that I can just rhyme about instantly, right? And then I think about the day and what you shared with me, that you became an affiliate, and, you know, all these different kind of concepts that I'm able to just kind of reach into, tap into. So a lot of times it's not really about rhyming the word either. It's about rhyming the tone, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's really about like bending the syllables and saying a word halfway, and then you finish the word and then you rhyme that. So
I recently saw a video of Eminem doing that, where he was like rhyming orange with a bunch of stuff that, you know, you obviously like, can't rhyme it.
You can't rhyme orange. It's like,
and then he's like, I made a whole verse with just things that rhyme with orange, in the sense, you know, like it's amazing. But yeah, that's crazy to think about it. And it is overthinking, because I'm obviously already have a question in my mind, so I'm trying to articulate it into words instead of just flowing. And probably like I talk to you on the street, I'm kind of overthinking it because we're in an interview and I'm excited.
Orange, you glad he did that? Oh, I see what you did there. Who's rocking the dad jokes, man? I'm
Retro radishes. Nice.
Much love to everybody that's tuning in right now, man. This is definitely cool to again see myself on your big screen back there, bro. That's super cool.
Nah, man. Well, I appreciate you sharing the art, and you have as much of the limelight as you want, man.
Nice, nice. Well, I don't know what else I got on here. Again, these were like ideas. They're not full beats. They're just like, okay, I think this loop sounds good with that loop, and let's just see what happens if I play them together. So I got a little bit more of that. If you don't mind, I'll just kind of go through some of
For sure, take it away.
these others. All right, let's see. Where did I leave off? One moment here. Trying to expand it to kind of get a better view of what's all in here, because some of these have, like in this case, like, you know, chords from pianos, guitars, drum loops, all that good stuff. So let's see. Let's try this one. Yeah. Super smooth when we gotta just move. That's right, no excuse, like nothing to lose. We got nothing to prove, but we got so much to do. My agenda is looking kinda super splendid. Not talking about splendor, that's that sugar free. What we doing right now, saying look at me, cause we live on the twitch.tv/ it's MikeTheTech. What you done, going home for now, but here we just broadcasting super dope sounds. What we doing with these freestyles, won't stop it, you can't knock it. What we doing right now, we gotta share different topics and open up the optics. Damn, I clicked that beat, now I gotta go and make that repeat. Not really, that didn't really work. What I'm doing right now, we putting in work, so do it again. We hit it, just flip it and bend. We won't stop trying to make more amends, cause this world got so many problems to face. And what we do, man, the beats that we lace with these rhymes, gotta take our time, gotta just connect the vibes, connect the dots, here to just rock like it's non-stop. Call it real underground hip-hop. What we saying, yo, it's about to just pop off like it's off the top, like my hat right about now. That's right, we gotta just lace what we callin' raps, but it's really just the rhyme. Right about now, we quick to define it, maybe just amplify previous definitions, expectations. What we doing right now is blending wavelengths, make the sound kinda great. Yes, y'all, when we cultivate. Let's see.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah. Keep it rocking with that jazzy vibe. Won't stop like it's one more time. So thank you very much, Mike, for having me right here. Super live, what we doing, this is transmitting. That's right, like I'm in my kitchen, cause I'm cooking these beats, these rhymes won't stop. That's right, yo, I'm not gonna lie. Today's guest, that's me, it's Eme7. What I gotta say is Eme7, just abbreviated from Chico Masa. Different words that I'm rocking from my OG. Now what? That's right, that's the language of this continent. Keep it pushing forward, cause I know it's common sense. And it's obvious, cause it's in the names of the different cities and different people with me. I know we all feeling this type of vibe. What I'm saying right now, just to quickly defy expectations, what I said earlier. Right about now, I'm getting up like early birds, but we nocturnal. Scribbling these journals that are really just audacious. Yeah, yo, it's sounding delicious. What I'm saying right now, about to eat your vitamins, cause it's more than nutrition. What we saying, yo, we quick to render it. That's right, from the beginning to the end of it. So thank you very much, Mike, once again for having me right now. You know you're my friend. I'm saying gracias, I'm saying tlazo kamati, saying thank you. That's 3 different languages, we here to just channel it. Yes, y'all, from different angles, of course we keep it ample. Yeah. I'm gonna lower the beat just a little bit.
Bro, so much
Get
respect,
a conversation
dude.
with you.
That's amazing. Honestly,
No, the respect is mutual, man. Respect is mutual, for sure.
No, honestly, it's true talent. It's so amazing to listen to. I'm excited that you were even willing to do this interview and share that with us on stream. It's crazy cool.
All right, so I just noticed that there is a word there, common sense. Was that one of the words for me to rhyme? I'm thinking, right? Or is that an artist that they're recommending? I didn't catch the whole conversation, unfortunately.
I think that was it. Retro, what's up?
Just want to make sure I'm not ignoring anybody if they were.
Oh,
okay,
you already
cool.
rhymed it, yeah. Nice.
All right, awesome. Making sure I didn't overlook anything, cool.
So you create amazing content, and I don't want you to stop creating amazing content. What is the next platform of choice for you when you do have time to set aside for creative work?
That's a great question, man. I don't know. It's a combination of, like, you know, obviously got to keep it rocking with what's what are people using? It's not like I can say, well, I really like MySpace.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
there's nobody on MySpace, right? Although I really liked MySpace. Like, I really loved the organic, like everybody was new to it. You can customize HTML codes. So in a weird way, one of the things I miss about like those older platforms was the way that we would actually connect with one another. I think over time, like the timelines kind of get jumbled in different order. And I don't know, people call it the algorithm. Depending on what you like, you'll get more of that. And, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I feel like we're at the mercy of the social media platforms. So the best way that I can answer that question, like, what would be the next platform that I enjoy? One, considering it's going to be a challenge to get people there, but once it's there, I think it really has that, like, you can do anything, whatever you want with it. And that are platforms like Slack, Discord, Clubhouse, where it becomes a little bit more like personal, if you will, right? It's less about, I have 10,000 followers, and more about like, I'm connecting with 10 people.
Nice.
Like we're actually having a conversation, we're actually building, or there's better communication. And I think that's kind of what I'm going for right now. I'm going for the less is more mentality, where not really focusing on the clout, not really focusing on, just like highlighting the good things. But one of the things about like being a part of this community and, being a part of different circles and being a part of different movements was always checking in with your people. Like always taking the time to ask, how's your day going? Do you need help with anything? Right? Before a meeting, if we're planning an event, before a meeting, if we're trying to put something together, we need to kind of just check in, man. Like, how are we doing? Right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times, like, that's one of the things that I miss from like older platforms. I feel like the more that we move forward, the more it just became about scrolling and like double tapping, and that's it. And so I don't know, maybe I'm old school, right? But I feel like whenever I would post a paragraph, like thought-provoking, like this is something that needs to be said, I'd get like minimal interactions. I'd post a sentence and I'd get a ton of likes. I'd post a picture with no caption and I would get even more likes, right? So it's like the algorithm really decides what it puts in front of people. Yeah. And I feel like if it's missing video, if it's missing, image, then it's not going to get as much traction. If you're going to put something that's like 5 paragraphs long, you're not going to get people's attention span. So, it's a balance of just finding out what works on different platforms. And I feel like every platform is going to have its own vibe, its own, community, if you will. Yeah. I feel like Twitch is definitely like really, really dope for the main reason that like you can do raids, right? So like, let's say you have people in here, you finish, you can send your viewers out to their channel, and vice versa. Maybe somebody else is finishing up their segment right now, they can send them over your way. And I haven't really seen that on other platforms, right? Like it's definitely like every little niche kind of has its own strengths. So
well, there is something to be missed about forums, honestly. Forums and message boards, and I think the problem is when we post content now, we're sending it to like 2,000 random people that have different tastes and ideas. Back then, when we sign up for message boards, it was on a topic. It was at least somewhat contained to a group of people that all had similar ideologies. So I felt more civil back then. And now that anyone can respond with all these different ideologies because it's just an open platform, the interactions do tend to be less positive. And even like on the Salinas News page that I set up, I've been posting stuff on there, and like it's super discouraging. Like when there's a shooting, hundreds of likes.
That's what gets all the interaction. Yeah.
When I share a charity and say, hey, let's go clean up a park, I might get 2. It's really difficult to put out impactful content on social media nowadays. You kind of have to have a big audience.
That's kind of what I'm speaking to, right? It's like at the end of the day, less is more. Like maybe those 2 people that interacted, are going to make a bigger impact in the long term than if, however many people just shared crime and violence story. Like there's no depth to that. That's just in the moment, and it's like it's trendy and it's going to lose its hype right away. But cleaning up a park is going to maybe develop new habits, new friendships, right? Maybe it's going to have a follow-up. It's not like people are going to be like, oh yeah, like I look forward to you sharing another violent post.
Yeah,
I look forward to
exactly,
interacting
right?
with you on there. Like, no, that's
it's
not
super
how,
discouraging
that's not how it
when it
work,
seems like that.
Yeah. But I mean, you're right. That is the fact, right? It's like bad news travels faster, and that's just kind of, I don't know if it's human nature or if we're just so polluted by so much negativity that we're just easier to identify and promote that. So back to your earlier question, what are my projects? Like that's what my project is, man. Like trying to not pre-program my daughters with just negativity. And honestly,
Nice.
that was a challenge last year. We had a lot of politics in the air that were just, you know, upside down, that just felt really hard to smile, right? To like look for something positive, you know, in the midst of a pandemic and losing people and losing our ability to hug people and connect with people. Like, to have just so much violence and so much racism and so much like just ignorance, you know, that reminding myself to be in the moment, take a deep breath, and just, you know, again, making a fewer connections but more meaningful collection, goes a long way.
Absolutely. I think that's kind of why I like Twitch too. When I streamed on YouTube first, I have like a small following on YouTube, so like people would drop in once in a while, but everyone who dropped in was always positive, and I would see names that I recognized coming in more than once and saying, "Oh, hey, how's it going today? And what are you going to play today?" And, you know, general excitement. And Twitch has that same vibe, and I know that sometimes we'll get trolls or people being weird, but I feel like that's a lot of platforms. But the people who do stick around and stay, they have to actually specifically follow you. They're not just getting an algorithm feed. They're getting people that they followed and want to watch content for. So I feel like it's a lot, it kind of is a little bit closer of a community. So I'm excited to try it out. I'm still super new to it, but it seems like it has a lot of potential.
Well, I know that we're on Twitch right now. I mean, are you able to like shout out the other streaming sites, or is there like some affiliate rule where you can't?
Oh, I can shout them out. Yeah. I could talk about them. I just can't.
I mean, I was just gonna say, like, you have so much, you get so much love on YouTube, you know, that it just feels like you definitely have a good network there as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, just a shout out to the whole YouTube community there, man. Like,
absolutely, thank you.
It's just different vibes, man.
Yeah, YouTube has been really exciting. It's just a different kind of revenue stream. Like, most of my revenue comes from existing videos and past videos, whereas Twitch is more instant. Like, if you have a certain amount of subscribers, you know exactly how much you're getting that month, things like that. While on YouTube, it's all based on views. It's all based on, you know, how many thousands of people have seen it. So, you know, one person on YouTube might earn me 2 cents. One follower or one subscriber on Twitch is $5. You know, so it's a really huge potential difference. Not to say that I'm not making okay money on YouTube or that it's a bad platform. It's just a really different type of system. So, you know, obviously, not being super rich, I do pursue revenue sources that can help me stay afloat. So hopefully this one is a good revenue source for that.
No shame in that. That's dope, man. And again, you becoming part of an affiliate program here, that's definitely huge as well, man. So
yeah, that's exciting.
Big milestone there, and just big congrats, you know, going your way for that one, bro.
I appreciate that. I get jealous a lot. Like, I feel like I'm like, I've been on Twitch for like a pretty long time too, and it takes a really long time to get subs, or like even on YouTube, I've been there for what, like 8 years or something, and it's just that slow climb. So just actually seeing things happen is exciting. Like, I see everyone else growing and getting bigger, and you know, celebrating their successes. I'm like, I'm just kind of waiting. Like maybe someday they'll find me.
That slow and steady climb you got going right now, though, it's great, man. I mean, honestly, it's like you're not going anywhere. You know, it's only going to keep getting better and better.
I hope so. I try not to like discourage myself by looking at other creators too much, because like you obviously get the, you know, people first page of YouTube when they make an account and post something, some meme up or something, and then they're 1 million subs in, and you know, it's a little discouraging to have created content for 8 years and barely reach any of those milestones as well. So like, it is difficult sometimes to stay motivated, but then it's also like, seeing where I am now, I would have been so excited when I started. Like, I still see posts from myself being like, oh my god, guys, thank you so much, I got 1,000 views. And that seems like nothing to me now because I have higher goals, but I do have to look back sometimes and be like, this is what I wanted. I'm doing what I wanted now, and I'm getting thousands of views, and it's making an impact. So it's exciting, especially seeing comments come in. I feel like on Facebook I have nothing but angry comments, And on YouTube, it's like, oh my God, thanks, you helped me fix my problem, or oh, you saved my computer, or like just constant praise. So it's like an ego fix. Whenever I feel too down, I just go read comments on YouTube.
And that's kind of what I meant earlier about like every platform has its vibe, bro. Like honestly.
And it's different for every person too. Some people post on YouTube and get hate, and I post and get love, and then I post on Facebook and get hate, and other people get love, and it all depends. You got to find your spot.
It's that algorithm, man. There's going to be good days and bad days, and I'd say just don't lose that discouragement, because you definitely have a lot to offer, Mike.
I appreciate
definitely
it.
Keep rocking.
Thanks.
Now, one thing that I think is part of the conversation here, just to kind of throw it out there, one of the things that Twitch is definitely dope about is that they let you play music. You know, like they're not going to kill your signal because it's copyright, right? Or because of whatever. Right? I feel like when I was doing the radio show and I had to go on Instagram, if I plugged in directly to the mixer and I gave you guys a really clean sound, it would pretty much get kicked offline. And so with that in mind, Twitch has been very welcoming to DJs, to the music community.
I've literally been hitting up a bunch of DJs
for that. Long way.
I hit you up, and I hit up a bunch of DJs that I follow. I hit up DJ Luna. I think it's an amazing platform for music specifically. And I know they have their random DMCA Twitch bans where they go through and just like cite a bunch of people or warn a bunch of people. But compared to YouTube, it was an immediate strike for me. Well, warning, I should say. I streamed on both Twitch and YouTube, and my YouTube stream was shut down about halfway through. So it is a lot more open on Twitch, so that's exciting for music and gameplay.
Most definitely. And I think for all those reasons, I mean, I don't know what the next platform is going to be, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think I have ideas in terms of like what could work. I know like Discord has, the ability to do this, right? Where we can share our screen, share your camera, right? The voice communication, the text channels. I mean, there's just so much potential there to build, and it goes back to like almost like a forum-ish type of vibe, where you could have extended conversations or a revolving type of theme in different rooms. So I think the potential's there. It's just a matter of like, how do you migrate people into it and let them know just how powerful it is? Because I mean, I kind of see it almost like a classroom. Like each Discord server could be a class, you know, and they all have a specific purpose, right? And so it could be built in a way where, if you architect it and you plug people in and you train them, I mean, like, what more do you need? You don't really need social media at that point, like you have all your content there. You have the ability to share, to connect, call mom, call grandma, call whoever, right? Like everybody could be able to tap into that. So
I think it's pretty fitting that a lyricist would choose creating a community where you can talk as the next project. I think that's great.
We'll see, man. Honestly, like I said, first and foremost, family, and then growing professionally, man. I mean, there's no reason to kind of hide that aspect of it. I feel like working from home is definitely kind of blended the lines, where before I'd be able to kind of compartmentalize and I'd leave the house and think about work, and I'd come home and not think about work. But now it's like, just continuing to grow, develop, and especially in technology, I mean, slowing down for a little bit just, completely sets you back.
Yeah.
It's like you got to be a step ahead of the curve and really keep your finger on the pulse, because it's just such a rapidly, moving kind of a subject.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I mean, back in the day it was HTML, CSS, and then, I felt like a champ. Now it's all these different frameworks, mainly revolving around JavaScript, it feels like. Like everything's UI based.
I've been being pushed hard into JavaScript.
Yeah, I mean, is that something that you've still been working on? I know that you've been asking me a lot of questions, so I'm going to kind of flip it to you. What kind of technology stacks are you working in these days?
So mostly it's game engines. It's mostly different game engines. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to actually just stick to one game engine. Initially when I started teaching, I was like, I'm going to use Unity because it's really easy, or easy to pick up at least. And then Fortnite came out and everyone wanted to learn Unreal Engine. So I was like, all right, I'm going to learn Unreal Engine instead, and I'm going to do that. And then I went to another school where they wanted to use Unity specifically, so I switched back. And I feel like because I kept having to switch between game engines, I kind of developed more of an understanding of how they work as opposed to the specific features. And now I feel like when I pick up new engines, I could just kind of create in them without learning. and it's
Nice.
starting to
That's got
feel
to be a great feeling then.
really comfortable.
There's
Yeah,
so there's no more learning curve. You're just jumping into any engine and filling up
yeah.
the
Or
tank.
if there are
I see.
issues,
I see.
it's very like I can figure it out, or I know how to figure it out, or what to look up and things like that, and it just becomes like it's exciting to be able to create, and that's why I've been trying to do this project because like my writing gig is creating courses for schools. Um,
Oh, that's dope. Yeah.
so my last course was a game design course for high school students in Unity. The course before that was a middle school game design course. I also did a web design course, and I did computer science. And then the one I'm writing right now is actually game design, but for Chromebooks. And this is where the JavaScript thing comes in. Chromebooks can't run any game engines. So the game engine we're using is actually completely web-based and uses JavaScript as their scripting backend.
Wow,
So
that's amazing. Is it using like
yeah,
Web GUI or whatever it's called? I'm probably
WebGL, yeah.
butchering the term. Okay.
Yeah, it's using WebGL, and it's full 3D. It renders beautifully too. It looks amazing, almost like Unreal Engine. So it's exciting to see that in a web engine. So I started learning more JavaScript for that. I remember back in the day, I don't know if it was just me, but there was a little bit of a hesitance to JavaScript, and a lot of programmers avoided
Oh yeah.
using it.
Yeah. No,
And
that's me, 100%.
I was very
Yeah.
much on board with that. Well, that like JavaScript looks awful. It's not formatted very nicely and all this stuff. But then recently, it became kind of the standard. So
That's exactly my point, man. It's
yeah,
like, man, I was installing no script. Like, you don't get to run JavaScript on my browser.
yeah, yeah,
You
exactly.
know? And I remember being told, like, Ricardo, you're like the only person in the whole world that like disables JavaScript. I'm like, no, there's other people like me.
Yep,
I know it. All right. But like,
just
I
like
was just so
disabling
reluctant to
Flash
learn it.
now. We got to.
Yeah. And now it's like Angular, React. I mean, those are like
Yeah,
two very popular, UI frameworks. But even like jQuery, like I feel like,
jQuery
I
is
mean
my favorite.
that's everywhere, right?
Yeah,
Like you can open up the console and type the little dollar sign and it's there.
yeah,
Tap into it.
jQuery is my favorite. Angular is the one that I'm gonna have to take on professionally next. I'm working on an AR project with a friend of mine for an environmental impact filter, and it's gonna
That's awesome.
show
Yeah.
how much trash we um, create, or how much
I think
waste
I've been
we
seeing that.
create.
Is that where you're putting like the stacks of? I think you just
Yeah,
added texture a week or two ago.
yeah, so you're gonna be able to compare, like, stand next to your car or something and see how much trash in real space you actually create in a day, a month, a year, and then
Wow,
how,
that's powerful.
and then beyond that, because 97% of the waste we create is actually industrial. So we don't actually see most of the waste we create from what we buy. So after it shows them how much they use in a year, they might even be like, oh, that's not that much. And then when it shows the industrial rate waste difference, I feel like that's going to be the eye opener for that project. So that's
That's
been
huge,
really
man.
exciting.
Honestly, like, yeah, yeah. Big ups on that, man. AR,
Thanks.
augmented reality, virtual reality, all those kind of technologies are definitely. They're still kind of hard to like wrap our mind around because it's not so commonplace yet. But more and more, it's just so integrated into everything. So
It's so,
when you're able to tap into your smartphone and just use it just like that,
yeah.
makes it so much more convenient.
It's
It's
crazy how
within reach.
technology has like advanced in years, because like even with AR, most of what needs to be done is computed in the back end. Like all these libraries already handle everything that it needs to do. There's hardly any programming involved to actually display the content. Um, Everything is so easy to set up that it's kind of wild. Before you had to code everything. Like if you wanted, a picture to show up, you had to enter the code for the address of the picture and all these things. And now it's literally drag and drop almost. And that's been really exciting to see and be able to jump into these fields that I didn't think I could before. Because AR used to be way more intimidating. Um, Even in Unreal Engine, when I'm creating something in Unreal, I could just like grab an object, drag it in, place it in a 3D space. When you're in augmented reality, there is no 3D space. That space is the user's home. So how do you even like wrap your mind around placing an item in a relative space? It's I don't know. It was very difficult to try and figure out at first, but then the tools just got so good. It's exciting.
That's so awesome to
Yeah,
hear you
like
kind of delve into them. And honestly, I mean, a lot of times it's like it's kind of conceptual. You talk about it, you try to use words as best you can to describe it, but then you kind of wow us with your virtual, studio like this, and it's like, hey guys, this is what I've been talking about. Like, this is that contextual relative space, and it's like, oh, like, all
Yeah.
right, cool. I get what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm following along, and of course, like, I can kind of relate with it because I also kind of live in that tech world. But I mean, if I'm trying to describe that kind of stuff to, I mean, my kids, right? Because they're little, like, it's
Yeah.
not going to be. It's not going to resonate as much. But even my wife, who has a master's degree, like, she's very educated, but she didn't go into technology. So it's
Yeah.
like it's only a select few of us that understand and have the patience to like try to figure out this kind of complex world,
Right.
man. So
And I think that's
again, my
why.
respects, bro, for what you do.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Like, I honestly think that's why this might have potential. Is that it looks intimidating and it is like something that isn't out there as often. Um, it's new. Like, not a lot of people want to try doing it because it seems like it's so difficult. But I think even the videos I put up showing people how to do this are useful. Like, um, it doesn't necessarily have to be the studio itself, but maybe even just showing other people how to create studios or how to create environments or how to even use the program in Unreal. All of that are ways to create content. And I think that's just my goal. It isn't really around creating anything specific. It's just finding out what people want and trying to make that. Like, I catch
Yeah,
myself
definitely.
literally like playing guitar one day and being like, oh, like I'm gonna try and record a riff. Like, one of my Instagram highlight clips, I didn't tell anyone, but like I recorded the guitar part and used that as my background music. And I was just like, yeah, I did that or whatever. No one knows that I did it, but it's cool to
Nice.
me. And I just want to be able to make stuff that people like. And I think it's kind of a weird place for me to be in because I'd probably do a lot better if I just stuck to like Angular JS and just learned that and got a
Yeah,
job
man.
that paid a lot of money to do Angular JS, and that would be really exciting. But I don't know if I would feel fulfilled. Like, I don't know if I would
Right,
be
right.
challenging myself on a constant basis and everything. So like, uh, I used to call myself this without knowing the full meaning of it, but I kind of am a jack of all trades and like a master of none. Like I learn or I dip my fingers into everything basically.
But that's amazing. I mean, honestly, I think that's why I have like such a deep admiration for what you do, because you delve in so many different areas and you make it look easy. And it's
Thank you.
like, I know it's not easy. I know what you're doing right now is like majorly complex, but you're pretty much controlling the camera with the drone. Like
Yeah.
conceptually, it makes sense. Like
Yeah, right.
I can explain that to somebody who's not geeky at all, and they're like, "Oh, wow, yeah, like I totally get it."
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, this is amazing.
It was literally, and see, the cool thing is too is like you could literally like I don't know if I've shown this, but you can use a controller to actually like control the drone as well. And everything is all like built into the system like as a game. So I eventually want to get like a stream deck like you have, get controllers and everything, and have multiple people like manning the cameras. But yeah,
Right.
it came from trying to make it make sense. Like, before, I just had a camera that flew around, and I was like, well, in a real studio, they would have cranes and crane operators, and there would be a zoom in, and I guess I could do that in the code or like all these things. But then I was like, well, why not just use a drone that explains why the camera's moving?
Yeah,
It's
and it
like
works. It works.
great.
That's perfect.
So I was like, it just kind of like, I never would have thought to plan for this. I never would have made a document and said, this is the studio I want to make. It just all kind of fell together because I was bored. I wanted to make it look
Well,
cool.
well, bro, I'm gonna continue to tap in with you. Is this something you're doing every Friday then? Every Friday at 8
Yes,
p.m.
absolutely. Every Friday, 8 p.m. I've already got a few weeks of interviews lined up, so I'm trying to contact as many people as I can to make sure we keep it interesting and fun and exciting. And yeah,
Super cool, man. Definitely look forward to stopping by and supporting it. And last week, actually, that's kind of how we set ours up today. Is I saw you were going live. I jumped in the chat. Actually, I was
yep,
in your Discord and I was like talking to myself. I'm like, yo, whoever's flying the drone is drunk. And I was just like, I was trying to troll you in a friendly way,
yeah,
because obviously you were doing loops and you were just like doing a lot of cool movements. And then I realized that all the interaction was actually happening on Twitch. So I kind
yeah.
of opened up Twitch at that point, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like this is where I can actually speak to the audience.
I know. I'm
So
actually
what?
looking into other types of interactions that we might be able to get Discord in here in some way. I found a plugin for that, but I'm not quite sure how
Oh
that's going to
wow,
be integrated
awesome.
yet. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. I know you also have is it Stream Savers? Stream
Yeah,
Buddies?
Stream Savers. Yeah, it used to be
Stream
Stream
Savers, yes,
Buddies.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Stream Savers and Polygon have been my two game projects that I'm working on. Stream Savers is definitely the main one. Excuse me. Walker Knights, thank you so much for the sub. Actually, sub. I think that's my first ever subscription. Wow.
Nice, man.
Very
Not only you go
exciting.
affiliate, you
Thank
get a
you
sub
so
today.
much.
It's
Wow.
amazing.
That's so cool. It kind of took me a second to process. I was like, I've never seen that notification before. That's great.
Yo, big ups, man. Big ups. And much
I
love
appreciate
to
that.
people supporting, man. I mean, very first sub right there. That's a badge of honor right there, too.
Absolutely. That's super exciting. And it wasn't a troll sub either. It was a real one. Not like the other day. No, but I appreciate you coming out and even mentioning the project. Stream Savers is like, it's been really fun. I kind of had a bad start to the project, unfortunately. We had a great launch and had like 400 people wish list it, had a bunch of people buy it. It was really exciting and everything. But then our programmer left immediately after. And that was really difficult because I had done most of the game programming and had just given him like a huge list of tasks. And I was just like, hey, so we're going to release the game. I have this and this set up and we need blah, blah, blah. And he was like, perfect. This is great. Awesome. I'll get started. So then I was confident. I released the game. And then he's like, oh, I got offered a better gig. Never mind. I'll refund the money.
Damn.
So I was super bummed at that. And then
so what's the status with it right now? Is it kind of on hold until you get more help, or?
I've been programming it the best I can, and I've been adding in features, but because I have writing gigs, I haven't been able to dedicate as much time as I'd like to it. But I have been hitting up other programmers and seeing if I can hire someone on to assist with some of the tasks because yeah, it's just difficult to manage a lot of projects at once. And that one's
tell me about it.
That one's a priority.
When you reached out to me, I think I had like 10 things on my plate.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I got the kids, I got like the radio show, I got like I just didn't have free time. But I know a guy who might be able to help.
Yeah,
can probably talk a little bit later.
Yeah, let's chat later about that because, like, honestly, it's a priority project since people actually paid for it. I want to give them a good product with updates and make sure that they know that what they bought into is going to be supported for a long time. And I felt really bad that I couldn't immediately give that off the bat, but yeah, it'd be great to connect to some more programmers and get some people some work.
For sure, man. Definitely excited to continue to connect with you, build with you. I just got to get on your schedule, bro. It looks like you're kind of a night owl, right? Like around midnight is when you clock in.
Yeah, so most of the day I'm asleep, and then I get up at night and I do my writing at night just because it's super quiet and there aren't that many distractions and stuff like that. So I just get all my writing done throughout the night, and I'm mostly just not alive during the day.
Word, no, I mean it's just a matter of kind of finding that time to be able to get into rhythm with you. That's all it is.
No, yeah, for sure. And honestly,
I know this week I was really excited to kind of connect with you, so I was just like, all right, cool, I'm gonna be patient. I don't want to hound him, but now that we kind of got the pressure of the stage fright out of the way, then we can kind of reach out. Yeah.
No, and you're feel free to reach out anytime. Like, honestly, my schedule's super crazy because sometimes I have stuff to do during the day or appointments or things or whatever. So I'll randomly be on and stuff, but I always answer my messages, so even if I see it a little late, I'll get back to you.
Super cool, man. Thank you again, bro. Again, I'm happy to continue to chop it up. I know we have plenty of conversation to get into, or continue maybe for a different show. I just don't want to overstay my welcome here in your virtual studio. Like, I do want to be invited back.
Well, no, for sure. You can come back anytime, every time if you want, man.
That guy did not want to stop. I don't ever want to see him.
No. Actually, if you'd be down, I wouldn't. I would really enjoy if you gave us a little some extra some music to close us out with.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Give me a quick second.
As I stumble on my words, I must be getting tired.
Yeah, no, definitely. What I had done was I opened up the most recent, like, I'm going to call it an audio canvas, where I just kind of throw in a whole bunch of different samples. And I mean, again, none of it's really concrete. None of it is anything that I'm married to. But I definitely work with that to be able to, like, kind of find different loops that work. And then we'll see what happens in the future. So today was a great opportunity to kind of just throw a combination of different kind of, samples that I've been kind of playing with. Yeah. What I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to find maybe a different song, something that I can share with you right now.
I was going to ask you too, while you look for that. I know you put out some music for free and things like that, and other artists were involved in that. What type of license is that? Is that something we can share on here as well? And like, not necessarily for the stream, but just to
That's
promote
a
that
good
music.
question. Yeah, so whenever I'm working on beats personally, I try to find stuff that if I'm gonna sample it, I'm gonna like really use it in a way where you won't even recognize it
Yeah.
because it's that unique. So that's one thing about anything that I'm kind of sharing. When I work with other producers, I don't know their process. So sometimes they do use samples that, could
Oh,
have
that
some
might
kind of
get caught under
copyright on
copyright.
them. Yeah, so that's kind of one of the gray areas. For whenever I'm making beats with a sound pack, for example, they usually have they call it a royalty-free license. So that means that if you use that in a composition, everything already has kind of sample clearance.
Right.
So that's generally how it works. Like, for example, with Ableton, they do have sound packs, and on the website it says like anything on there is going to be royalty-free. So you don't have to worry about copyrights. So that's more or less the way it works. But again, depending on the producer, depending on the instrumentals, depending on how recognizable it is, right? I mean, or how good the lawyers are for that matter.
Right. Yeah. How good the detection algorithm is.
Right. Exactly.
No, yeah, I always just have to ask because I love promoting. Like if I'm gonna use music and I'm gonna choose something like DMCA free or royalty free, I'd rather at least it be someone local that I can promote.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a great question. I know you've always asked that, like how can we support more people from the community? Like how can we, and one second here, this one that I just loaded has a crackle intentional. I'm trying to get the artificial vinyl. One second here, I'm gonna close the door so I don't scare my neighbors as I get loud again. All right, cool. I'm back.
With the vinyl stack back there, very nice.
Yeah, man. I was trying to just set a good vibe earlier. I was listening to some Odyssey. I was listening to some Earth, Wind and Fire, some Diana Ross. I was all over the place, man.
Nice.
Just trying to get the vibes down. All right, so I don't know if this is gonna work 100%, but let's see. This might work.
We're doing it live.
Let's see what happens. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna work. Let's see if it works. Check it out when we get on this mic. All right, kind of work, kind of train wreck. Let's try that one more time here. I think it's the tempo might be different. Let's see if I can figure out what the tempo was. Nice, I got you on a little screen here next to me, and I just heard that 30-second delay. I'm like, there it is. All right, cool. Let's try this. One more time. Too slow. I'm trying to get that tempo just right. What was it at? Let's try it one more time. That works. All right. I see what the problem is. All right, cool. I figured it out. Cool. So for this one, I want to give a big shout out to one of my coworkers. His name is also Mike, actually. And he was telling me that when he was in school, he would troll his professor with this. He would pretty much play it at the beginning of each semester. And it would be like, I think it was a TV tune. So for the lawyers out there, making it easy for y'all, it was a TV theme song. And I sampled that and I made this guy out of it. Check it out. Check it out when we get on this mic. Won't stop. Now it sounds like it's still a little off, man. I'm about to rock it and like the tempo's off. Let's try one more time.
It's all good. Take your time.
All right, we got the tempo here locked in at 90. Right about now, gotta say, try these just a little bit faster at 92. What I'm doing is showing you my point of view. Like I said, this is really nothing new, but shout out to MikeTheTech for taking me to school. Like, he taught me so many things about Unity and Unreal and all of these different 3Ds and ARs. And yo, I'm not talking about the weapons, I'm talking about the reality of what you step in and what we do when we're here to just create. Once upon a time, that's right, let's let us demonstrate. Cause what you see in here is coming at you live. I won't stop with these fresh style rhymes. Yeah, I call it fresh style. It's not just free. Cause what I'm saying is to be free. You gotta set it more than just the way the concept unlocks it. We hit a straight rocket and keep it super fine. What we doing right now, just to take our time, but stay connected and staying blessed with all of this equipment. What I'm saying right now, we gotta keep it shifting to positivity and brand new directions, to different altitudes. Gotta keep that attitude. And what we saying, yo, we gotta keep it so dope, locked and loaded with that thought provoking. So thank you, Mike, again, knowing I'm not joking. Taking you out for now, but I'm still hoping to make it back inside your studio real soon. And right about now, the springtime where everything blooms. That's right, y'all. We here to grow once upon a time, and we take our time, y'all. Yeah, we gotta stay more patient with it. Right about now, it's sweet like a diabetic. So be very, very careful where you're stepping. Cause right about now, MikeTheTech got those lessons. Yeah.
Nice, dude. That's amazing, dude. I appreciate you.
Just having fun with the freestyles, bro.
That's so great. Thank you so much for sharing that, like, on my stream especially. Like, it's just, like, you don't understand what you're creating. Like, you understand it, but you don't understand what it means to me that you're creating music literally for me,
bro,
and using my name in your freestyle and using my studio and talking about, like, things that I've done. It's just so fucking cool, man. You're amazing, dude. Thank you.
No, thank you once again, brother, for having me on. And again, I look forward to just, on my side, I'm going to continue to practice, get better at what I do. Of course, right now I'm trying to freestyle, trying to improvise, and trying to do my best at doing that. But it's been a while since I've done anything like this, man. I haven't had any live performances. I haven't done, too much of the whole, like, getting in front of a camera and entertaining folks. So hopefully it's been informative. Hopefully it's been entertaining, and hopefully it's been good times, man. Good vibes to everybody out there.
Amazing times. And again, you're welcome to come back anytime. Even if we have a guest, drop in and say hello, like, anytime. It would be great. It's an awesome dynamic. You're a great speaker, obviously, because you're a lyricist. You're gonna be great at it, and I really enjoy having you on. Actually, I enjoy just talking to you, really. Like, even when we had conversations earlier, I was like, we need to stop talking because this is, like, entertaining, and it's like
part of the content.
It's
for the show.
literally content. We can't be friends right now.
Well, definitely open to all of that, bro. And again, I think, without further ado, for everybody out there that's been tuned in, just definitely keep supporting, because, you're not going anywhere. You've been doing this for so long. You're going to keep doing your thing. I've been rocking the mic for a really long time, so I'm going to keep doing my thing. I'm going to polish what I've been sharing with you today. Again, these are like concepts. They're not even songs yet. So what we're doing is just kind of sharing a little bit of our personal creative spaces with everybody out there. I generally don't put a camera on my equipment because it's not about the equipment, but again, brand new stuff that we're trying out today, brand new virtual studio. I mean, all of this stuff is mad exciting, and I look forward to continue to build with you.
I've really enjoyed the vibes.
Converse, man. Great. Yeah, definitely. I look forward to continue to build with you, Mike. Thank you again for having me here today.
So last thing before we end, any shout outs you'd like to give, any last words to any other creators or anything you'd like to highlight? I could stick them in the description or links to their content or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, a shout out to everybody out there that ever tunes in, shows love, does a share. I mean, the community in general has always shown a ton of love, a ton of support. So much love to everybody out here in the 831 and abroad. I know that this stream right here goes worldwide. Much love to my family, of course, my beautiful wife, my beautiful children, to my neighbor, like I said, one of my best friends ever, changed my life, and just keeps going on and on, man, from those that are close to those that are far away. Just know that we carry y'all in our heart all the time, specifically those that, we have memories with, bonds with, and those that we're going to continue to build with, man. Much love going out to all of y'all.
Nice. Thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you. I tell you all the time, I hope. And honestly, we need to do this again very soon. It was so fun.
I look forward to it, bro. Yes,
hopefully
definitely.
next time I won't be starstruck and nervous and stumbling on my words.
I feel the same way, man. Next time, I'm going to improve my lighting situation. Maybe I'll actually bust out the green screen. And,
imagine.
It's
I almost
better,
forgot
bro.
about our little collab. We need to do that, dude. That's so sick. I'm going to talk to you soon about that.
All right. Sounds good, man. I look forward to it, Mike.
All right. Talk to you later.
We will be in touch.
All right.
Peace, bro. Take care.
Peace. Bye. What a great stream, guys. Wow. I'm so stoked. I'm a little embarrassed because I was shy and I was stumbling on my words a little bit. But yeah, I've known this guy for so long. He's an awesome friend. He's come through for me so many times. He's obviously extremely talented, as you've seen. Being able to perform like that on the fly when you're nervous to an audience, and he does this at live shows. He does this online. He does it anywhere. He just turns it on, and it's amazing. True talent, and honestly, he's a little shy about it, but a voice of our community, and I hope he knows that. Thank you guys all for supporting me today. This is my very first day streaming as an affiliate, as a Twitch affiliate, and I've been having a lot of fun with the show. We're gonna do it every single Friday. We're gonna have guests on every Friday, and new interactions. Most importantly, we are gonna have some amazing. I wasn't meaning to turn that on. We're going to have some amazing new interactions triggered by different things you can do, like in the chat, and bits, and donating, and subs, and follows. Everything is going to do different stuff in the stream, in this virtual studio. And I really hope it's going to be a lot of fun. And especially if me and Emma start creating some of that collab content on the green screen, I think that would be so sick. So thank you guys for hanging out. Very much appreciated. I'm going to jump offline for now, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Peace. See ya.